exactly what had transpired during last night's performance at the Southern Palace Theater. Surely he would see that she was not to blame. At the far end of the hallway, a door opened and a policeman came in on a blast of frigid air. India patted her curly hair into place and brushed at the dried blood still clinging to the ruffled skirt of her costume. The arresting officer had hustled her from the stage to this dank and sorry place without allowing her even 5 minutes to wipe away her stage makeup or to change into her own clothes. She felt grimy from head to toe. She could imagine the streaks on her face from where the grease paint had run. Not exactly the image she wanted to present to the authorities. The officer paused before her cell door and fumbled with a set of keys. Iron gray hair peeked from beneath his cap. The brass buttons on his uniform gleamed dully in the lambent light.
"India Hartley?"
His breath smelled of coffee and sleep. "Yes?" She rotated her shoulders, hoping to ease the throbbing at the back of her neck. He swung open the door and immediately caught her wrist in a vice-like grip strong as any manacle.
"Come with me."
The previous evening. Her carriage rocked along the street, headed for the theater. India settled into the plush velvet seat and watched the crowds of Christmas shoppers coming and going from stores decorated with wreaths of greenery. At Madame Louise's hair salon, an elaborate poster invited ladies to come in for styles of the highest art. Flyers offering children's toys, European fashions, and grand action pianos fluttered from shop windows illuminated by gaslight. At the corner of Drayton and Congress, the carriage paused for a man and a small girl crossing the street, their arms laden with packages from Thomas Bateson's store. At the sight of them, India felt a fresh sting of loneliness. For most of her life, she and father had lived alone, traveling from London to Philadelphia and then Boston, where he managed various theater companies before finally organizing his own. He had recognized her talent and her instinctual understanding of how the theater worked and groomed her for a life on the stage. But he had failed to teach her anything about how to survive in a harsh and indifferent world. Father had not been the most skillful of managers. India supported him more often than the other way around. But she never doubted his love for her. He was the touchstone that kept her grounded, and when she lost him, she lost the everyday contentment she had taken for granted. Upon his untimely death, she discovered they were nearly broke, and her interest in the classic theater touring company had been taken over by an unscrupulous manager she'd once trusted. After months of scraping by on next to nothing, she arranged a 10-week tour as a visiting actress to theaters in Savannah, Charleston, and New Orleans. What would become of her after the tour finished was something she did not let herself think about.
"Here we are, Miss Hartley."
The young driver opened the carriage door and extended a gloved hand to assist her as she exited. When she paused to straighten her hat, he fumbled in his pocket for a scrap of paper and a pencil.
"Would you mind?"
He thrust the paper and pencil into her hands.
"I mean, I know it's an awful imposition, but my little sister reveres you. It sure would be the best Christmas present ever for her to have your signature."
"Of course." India took the paper and pencil. "What plays of mine has she seen?"
"Oh, we can't afford the theater, but she reads about you in the ladies' magazine she gets from the circulating library. She tries to style her hair like yours. I reckon just about every girl in Savannah wants India Hartley curls."
He watched as she fished a carte de visite from her reticule.
"She tries to talk like she's from London, too, when she thinks nobody's listening. But I don't reckon the Queen's English mixes too well with our way of speaking."
India scribbled her signature on the back of the photograph, made at Mr. Sereni's New York studio, and pressed it into his hand. "Present this at the theater tonight. I'll have 2 tickets waiting for you and your sister." He gaped at her.
"You mean it? We're going to the Southern Palace?"
India smiled. "You are indeed. The curtain is at 8. Don't be late."
"Well, I won't. I mean, thank you, Miss Hartley. Thank you so much. Just wait till I tell Mary."